Alright, we got the YouTube live going on February 27th, and we also have the TikTok going as well. So we're going to start off this video, like always, with our BTC market update. I'm just going to get a quick drink of coffee, and then we'll get right to it. Alright, so this is the daily chart on the Gemini Exchange. We drew this in yesterday, and it looks like that price is holding there pretty well on around the $8,500 level for a level of support. We can see that this level was a previous market structure resistance or ceiling. We can see back in October of 2019, and then now it looks like we could be holding this level. It looks like we're holding it right now. We got just under 8 hours left on this daily candle. But overall, it does look like it is holding the support there. And then we'll zoom in and take a look at a smaller time frame to see how the consolidation is looking within the smaller time frame. No real gap to the downside, giving us a pretty clear move. Nothing really else to see on the CME futures. Looking on the weekly chart, we can see a pretty big dump, but we don't see that much sell volume coming into the market. Which is a good thing because there's not a lot of supply, but a little bit worrying because if the price is able to drop this significantly without that much buy volume, that could indicate that there's not a lot of demand here, giving the battle between the bears and bulls before the price is able to go down. But obviously we still have 3 days left until this candle closes. So we'll go to the 4-hour chart here of the Heikin Ashi, and then we'll go to the 4-hour chart of the candlesticks. So what we can see right now is the price holding a certain zone. I did draw like a descending trend line from this consolidation, but we're not really going to put that in. We do have a nice little area of sensitivity here. Let's just see if I can salvage that. I can. Where you get a previous level of both resistance and support. Oh, let's get our arrow here. That's a little bit annoying of a spot. Like so. So you got a previous level of support and then resistance, and then it turns into a new level of support. Also looking at this zone here with the bottom around 64, and then next touch point is around 68 with the 2 touch points, and then this is the 3rd touch point of this trend line. We can't exactly validate this zone as a dependable area yet because we only have 3. If we're able to push up and then hit it again while holding a nice level of support, then it's 4 touches of this zone, making it a valid level, and we can use it to enter some trades because it's a dependable area. So don't have that yet, so we can't confirm. So on the 4-hour chart, basically we're looking at the consolidation, seeing how the price action is, seeing how the supply and demand is. Looking at the 4-hour chart of the Bybit exchange, we can see that there's not a lot of buy pressure coming into the market. There's more than we had initially, so that is good, but there's not a tremendous amount. So at the end of the day, I think we will get a pullback here because, like anything, the market needs to take a breath. It needs to make a wave back to the upside to correct, to make it the exhaustion phase before our potential next move to the downside. So we're still looking for shorts, but we obviously made a very, very strong move to the downside, and it looks like we are now looking like we could have a nice pullback to validate a previous support as a new level of resistance. So that's what we'll be looking out for. Looking on the 1 hour, just drew this horizontal zone in for the consolidation. We're really just looking for some price action pattern that could give us an indication that we could see a potential move towards the upside. I do see a reverse head and shoulders here. So let's draw it in like so. So this is the left shoulder, and then this is the head, and then we got the right shoulder right there. And it looks like it's popping off right now. So, it could push up here, and we got the next minor level of resistance at around 9100. That would be a pretty good place to retest. It would be this zone right here where we see it's a previous level of resistance and support. So I would not be too surprised if we actually get to that zone. And I think at this point I'm going to draw that in right now. just as a little bit of a minor zone. So if we hesitate at this zone, maybe this will be the higher low instead of coming all the way back to the $9,400 level of resistance. So we'll see how the price reacts. Let's just look at the consolidation right now. I am going to take off the head and shoulders pattern structure there because hopefully everyone understands what we're looking at now. So we initially got a big wick to the upside. Let's get our snip. So we got a big wick to the upside, and then we closed still bearish with quite a bit of sell pressure coming into the market. We can see that right here. And then there's that big wick that we talked about. And this is the resistance that we wanted to pass. We see hesitation, hesitation, hesitation. There's quite a bit of sell pressure. There's quite a bit of supply at this area. And then it looks like we could be closing. We still have 46 minutes on our current candle. We can see that right here. So we'll see how it closes. If we're able to close above the zone, then we'll be a little bit more interested. But if we see a wick like we see for the previous couple candles here, or previous couple candles here, we see wicks to the downside or to the upside showing downside pressure, then we might be looking for shorts to capture from here back down to a nearby level of support on some alts here. So if it's able to hold, then our bias will shift, but we can see at the range of around 88.40 key level of resistance. Very, very strong all here, and then we see that yet again, and then we see this big wick here showing that there's lots of sell pressure, and then there has not been a candle that's closed above this zone. The candle that's currently running right now has not closed, so if we're able to get the price to close above that zone, that's great. Then we could look for a potential retest, and once we get a validation there's actually buyers in the market, then we could potentially look for a quick long, but at the end of the day, look how strong of a bearish momentum we're in. It would make more sense for us to look for shorts. So the primary thing we're looking for is a failure at this zone to break above, or at least a fake out where you see one candle go above and then the next candle with a bearish engulfing candle come right back below with more sell volume coming in. We will see if there is a no demand, which means that there's a very lack of demand in the green candle here. It would just be a very, very small green candle in the volume here. And then this candle would have to close with a wick to the upside, like so. So there's a lack of demand. The buyers pushed it up initially, but the sellers pushed it back down, not all the way, but we do want to see a wick, and we want to see that very limited amount of demand on the downside. And then the next candle will hopefully be a bearish engulfing candle, slamming the price below the previous low of the candle. And that, for me, would be a pretty good indication that sellers have taken control. And when that bearish engulfing candle comes, hopefully it brings a decent amount more sell pressure. And that would really, for me, paint a good picture of a potential short here, making the price come down to this zone here and perhaps even to the lows here. So I'm definitely not looking to long right now. If the price does break and hold, then we'll have more of a bias to potentially long, but at this point, look how strong the trend is. We don't want to fight that. Massive move. Like, yeah, theoretically that could be a nice reverse head and shoulders, but we will look at the different alts we are able to see within the market, because we do see a few alts that could look pretty good. Some ascending triangles, few of the trades broke out already, as we can see. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see if this pulls back. We'll see how the buy volume looks when it does pull back. So don't want to enter just yet. We want to be a little patient, maybe in a couple hours, because the 1 hour still needs to close here above the zone. That's the first thing that needs to happen. If it doesn't close above the zone, then we'll be looking for more of a short bias. But if it's able to close at where the prices are higher, then we'll definitely look at the different alts for maybe a potential short 5-minute trade on a daily, on a day trade here for a quick move towards the upside from where we're currently holding for a level of support to a potential retest zone, maybe around the $91 or $9,400 area. So we'll see how the price reacts around here. We're not getting a whole lot of buy volume yet, but on the 1 hour, we are seeing the buyers start to enter the market. But like always, we still got, a little under 20 minutes left on this candle, or around 20 minutes left on this candle. So we want to really make sure that this does hold, does get the buy pressure, because right now we're not seeing a lot of buy pressure entering the market. So before that happens, that's exactly what we want to do before jumping into any trades. Don't need to be the first one in and the last one out. We just need to catch the meat of the move. So we'll see if this starts the push to the upside. We're going to start retesting these resistances because that was our major impulse move to the downside. And then now we could see a sharp pullback or an exhaustion phase where we might not see a tremendous amount of buy volume, but the shorts need to take a breath. They need to let the price breathe before entering in again and then starting to try to push that price lower and lower. So we'll see how it goes. Ethereum's looking like it's pushing up, we can see, and Chainlink as well, but we won't get into those topics right now. So basically that's what we're looking for. We'll keep everyone updated, but if the price holds, then we'll look a little bit more bullish. If the price pulls back and retests these zones for a new level of support and is able to hold, and we see 1 or 2 injections of buy volume come in with a little bit more increasing amount of buy volume, that would obviously be pretty bullish. And if we close below, then that would look pretty bearish. So we'll keep everyone updated, but for now, it looks like we're in a potential reversal entry area. We want to be cautious. I don't think entering shorts, unless you're kind of doing a scalp, but I don't think making another massive move to the downside. I think we will have to consolidate a little bit more, see more of a price action pattern, maybe see an ascending triangle or an ascending wedge or an ascending channel, or something that will show a continuation consolidation pattern, some triangle, wedge, channel, something that will show that there's a push, an exhaustion phase, pulling back the opposing way of the momentum, and then we'll look to enter back down. So we'll see how it goes, but that's the overview of BTC, and then we'll go on to the other alts, or not the other alts, the tools that we have, and then we'll go into the other alts in a later video. Got a lot of people to join here on our TikTok. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll answer the TikTok video, TikTok questions. So this is the Bitfinex margin longs and shorts. So this is the number of margin longs that were opened in a daily chart, and then this is the number of short positions on margin that were opened on Bitfinex, seen as a daily chart. So each candle represents a single day of data. So we're going to look at the buyers first. We saw a lot of volatility to the upside, hit a resistance, came right back down. That was the first consolidation that we had, and the buyers rallied and started picking back up the price yet again after the consolidation finished. Had that double top. We see a very, very clear resistance from the sellers, and then we see another sell-off. But we see last time the buyers picked it right back up. We have a level of resistance turning into support, which we are getting to right now. And we'll see if the price is able to pick it back up at yet another time, because we do see previous levels of resistance for the buyers, new levels of support. We can see like so. So we'll see where the price is going to go. If it does drop a little bit more, I do think that we could see another little drop, because the confidence in the buyers is diminishing very quickly, it seems like. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a little consolidation and then a major move back down. So we had our first impulse push. We're going to get an exhaustion or pullback phase, and then we're going to potentially go back down. So we'll see how the market moves. The buyers definitely are losing a lot of confidence, as we can see right now, but we do have a support that we could reach. But from here to here, could see another drop in price. So it's definitely still looking short at this point. Now to talk about the short sellers. We see a resistance here that absolutely slammed the price down. Kind of surprised by that, because we do see bearish fall, and we see really no margin trades, leverage margin trades open on Binance. So this is going to show you the amount of positions that are opened on margin on Bitfinex for the shorts. And we see that there's really not many people opening short positions on Bitfinex on margin, which is very surprising. We're at the lows here yet again. So, it can only go up, but there's not a lot of confidence from the sellers still at this point, it seems like, which is very, very surprising. Just making sure I don't have the replay mode or anything. Yeah, I don't. That's very odd. I'm surprised that there isn't. I thought there would be more. But anyway, that is the data, and we're just going to take from it what it is able to provide. So not going to use that solely to trade, but just some information that we can gather that gives us a little bit more depth as to the comparison of buyers and sellers in the market. Now for our last analysis we're going to be looking at is going to be looking at the longs and shorts and the percentages for multiple exchanges. And we'll be able to see that right here. So initially we see on BitMEX, so we're going to go on the 24-hour first. On BitMEX we see that it's weighted more towards the short side. So there's 51.5% of people that are more short versus 48.5%. On Binance, very, very even, 50.5 for the short side and then 49.5 for the buy side. Pretty well break even. Bybit is a little bit more weighted towards the short side, 51.75, more weighted towards the short side. So not a huge discrepancy, a little bit more short biased, but overall looks pretty good. Now looking on the 1 hour, looks pretty good in terms of there's no major discrepancies. Looking at the 1 hour now for a more shorter time frame, we can see that BitMEX is weighted a little bit more towards the buy side with 51 and just a little bit under a half, so 51.5% more weighted towards the buy side. And then in Binance, similar situation, 52.8% more towards the buy side. And then on Bybit is 55.4% towards the buy side. So definitely the 1 hour chart looks a lot more bullish with the traders entering more longs than shorts in that 1 hour time frame. But on the longer time frame, on the daily, we see that the traders on the different exchanges are a little bit more short biased. So short side is a little bit more bullish, long side is a little bit more bearish. But overall, that is analysis. I do think that it makes a lot of sense. You know, looking at the short side, looking at the longer time frame, we can see that we made a push to the downside. So the people that are more swing trading, that are thinking that the price is going to go down and are okay with the little bit of consolidation that you'll get or a little bit of the drawdown you'll get with the pullback, those are the longer term traders we can see. And then we've got the shorter term traders that think that the price will pull back and retest. So then that's why they're putting more trades to the upside. Whereas previously, we can see because the longer term trend is to the downside, people are putting on more shorts. But then in the shorter term time frame, we could see a slight pullback, and that's kind of what we're looking for the alts as well. And that's kind of what traders are doing. So it makes sense. So that's the overall analysis. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, please drop them in the YouTube comments below. And until next time, happy trading. Alright, so just finished the YouTube video. Now I'm going to be looking at the TikTok comments here. What is the platform again? So it's tradingview.com. Absolutely free to use. There's a paid version for